Hello, this is Maurice Dwayne Smith, Nuclear Popcorn, right back at you. And if you don't know about these two guests, you will soon. Unless you've been hiding out under some rock, you haven't seen my beautiful guest here, which is Preity Upala.
Yes.
She's Miss International everywhere, but I'm going to see if I have it correct this time. Australia, India?
Miss India International and Miss India Australia.
Cool, very cool. And also cool accent as well.
Thank
and
you.
You're looking very nice. Are those your designs or?
No, I bought this in Europe, I think. And
Oh, very cool.
yeah, I just love, unique one-off type of accessories and dresses, and I like bling bling and something shiny. Yeah.
Well, you definitely got your bling
Thank
blinging.
you.
And we have the ever effusive, incredible Ricky B. How's it going, sir?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing good. I want to bring the most incredible people to this show. So we call this show Nuclear Popcorn because if you notice, a kernel is not really real until it explodes. I mean, even a mustard seed starts small, but it gets big. Everyone on this show is either big, getting big, in the art of getting big, and we're just trying to bring it to you so you can get big. They'll tell you how to do it. They give the ins and outs of Hollywood. And hopefully you'll be able to sidestep or jump on top of the next big thing and ride it and just explode like a nuclear popcorn.
Sounds good.
Yeah, what's on your horizon these days?
Wow. I am really in the mindset that it's time to take back your power as an artist and an actor here in Hollywood and really produce your own content. Create your own stuff, write your own stuff. I never used to be that way. I always thought that I would walk off a plane and just walk into a set of a blockbuster. I really had, I really thought that was going to be the way things were going to go for me. But there's no need to wait. You can meet your destiny, I think, halfway. So that's what I've done. So a little bit of background about myself. I'm from Australia. I used to be an investment banker, but I gave that up to pursue my dream of being a writer, producer, and an actor. And I won a scholarship to come out here to New York a few years ago. And it's been an incredible journey. And recently, I've been just producing my own content on various different channels and levels, and collaborating with some incredible people. So it's been fantastic in that way, very empowering, and you're in control. And I think you sow a lot of seeds. Your projects, the ones that you do create and produce yourself, they end up reaching the people that you need to reach, and the future projects will come from that. I think you do it in parallel with trying to get that elusive break, which we never know when it's gonna come, and you don't want to be.
This is that break. Hopefully
maybe, but you don't want to be wasting another 5 years trying to, waiting for that while you can do so much on your own, and you never know. It might be your own project that might be the
catalyst.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, I'm hoping this will be your catalyst.
Don't
Because you're already popping and exploding everywhere.
Yeah, I've done it. It's so funny because I'm famous in different countries in the world for completely different things.
That's good. That's called diversification.
That's true. Talk about, like, in China, became an overnight star for being a part of a major film festival where I was awarded by Mr. Jackie Chan himself for a bunch of film awards. Nice. And then in Russia, I became famous for hosting a
MTV,
huge,
right?
well, MTV Russia did a story on me, but I hosted the Moscow International Film Festival. I was the official English host.
Wow.
And so MTV Russia did a story on me because I spoke Russian for them. I gave a speech in Russian language. And
you speak Russian?
No, but I prepared for that, for that talk. So it was a spiritual speech about spirituality. It was just crazy. The people went nuts. And then India, of course, the beauty queen, and then Australia, that too. So yeah, and
it's pretty incredible.
And Cannes, just off the Cannes Film Festival. Yeah. So all different kinds of things. But this is the big dog, Hollywood. This is where it's at. So
this is where you got to be.
Yeah.
If you're winning or in it to win it, this is where you got to be.
Absolutely.
Speaking about In It to Win It, Mr. Ricky B, you've been doing some pretty incredible things. I met you at the horror festival out there in begins with the M, Monrovia last year, and that was cool. I met up with our friend Joanna Ray. She's like one of the most busiest people I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's
and
busy.
I've noticed you've been pretty shooting and firing your fireworks all over
Getting
the
ready
place.
to put Joanna Ray in my next movie.
Okay, now what's that going to be?
Well, you know, with what you were saying, as far as producing and directing your own stuff, I've started producing and directing my own films. The next movie that I'm going to produce and direct is called The Conspirator. I'm going to be starring in it, and Joanna Ray is going to be playing a character in that as well. This is the second movie I've directed and produced. I just finished another movie I directed and produced called It Was an Accident. It's about two detectives who, basically one of the detectives makes a mistake and it costs him more than his job. Reason why I'm plugging that is with everything that's going on today now with police, my movie I put on Amazon, it's totally doing well. Like within the last couple of weeks, because of everything that's going off in the news, my movie's streamed like about another 400 minutes or something. Like I think I was at like, because the way Amazon works is you get paid off of streaming minutes. So I was at about 20. Yeah, I was about 20 something minutes. The movie is 10 minutes and 57 seconds long. So at 22 minutes, I believe 2 people rented it. Well, after all this stuff with the news that's going on,
Cop killing?
yeah, like I'm at 400 and something minutes now, totally streamed. So I think, you know, another 20 or 30 people have watched the movie because of what's going on in the news.
So it's very timely.
Yeah, and the reason why I did that was to basically show a side from the police officer's view, because everything that's going on today with Black Lives Matter and Blue Lives Matter, my movie is a take from the actual police officer who did the wrong. So this is a view of what's the police officer thinking? Yeah, I know the police officers or Blue Lives Matter has their say so. Black Lives Matter has their say so. You know, the victims always have their say so. The victims' parents always have their say so. What about the police officer that actually did the shooting? So this movie is a viewpoint from there.
Totally
and I think
different scenario.
yeah, and I think
different angle.
and I think that's one of the reasons why it's doing well is because it's from that angle. It's from the actual officer that, you know, I guess I'll say committed the crime.
We also taboo. We look at it from the horse's mouth and see what he's saying.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
And the reason why I started producing my own stuff is you know, being at that Action on Film Festival where I met you. Dale Weston, who is the creator of that, he said, Richie, why don't you start doing your own stuff? And, you know, being an actor out there, trying to find my own gigs, I'm doing pretty well. I mean, getting gigs on my own, but I'm noticing that because the ball is in my court now, I can make the money that I want to make. I can go ahead and put it on Amazon. I can go ahead and try to get my movie on Netflix. I can go ahead and try to get my movie monetized on YouTube. I don't have to worry about someone doing that for me. So that's one of the things that, you know, as actors out there, we need to jump on the opportunity to do this stuff on our own. Because somebody out there might see us and hire us, or like I'm trying to do, make money on my own film. But what's just exciting about it is the process. You know, I've never directed before, so dealing with actors was something that I needed to understand and come to grips with, being able to deal with a person like myself. We've got excuses. We've got...
Quick question.
Yeah.
Now you're saying actors have a lot of excuses. Now what about the person that's not on that level yet to be beset with the excuse mode? The one that hasn't quite become an actor, and they're like, man, he's producing. I haven't even started acting. What's your advice on how to get into the business in the first place, and then once they get into it, become a director? What should the skill set dynamic be to become a Ricky B or to become a Preity?
Well, based on personal experience, I started doing background work. So I started at Central Casting like everybody else. and got in doing background. Got my 3 SAG vouchers doing background, joined the Screen Actors Guild after I got my 3 vouchers, and slowly but surely started booking, under 5 lines from there. So I mean, I would recommend anybody that's getting a start, just start off doing extra work, but start off at Central Casting. Reason why Central Casting is the major, I'll say, casting company for all the films and all the movies out here in Hollywood. Like Central is the major extra casting, yeah. So if you don't know anyone, that's a great start. If you know some filmmakers or if you know some independent filmmakers out there, try to hook up with them and see if maybe you can, be featured in their film. If there's any individuals that you know that are thinking about doing a film and need someone to help them, whether it be do the camera or help write or pick up trash, any way to volunteer and just be a part of any set is a good way to get started, because out here in this business, we all pretty much do everything. I mean, you're an actor and you're also doing your own interview show. You're an actress and you're also a beauty queen and you're also producing. I'm an actor that, has an agent that sends me out for commercial auditions, and I'm also, trying to produce my own things because I want to be like Tom Cruise, because I heard, Tom Cruise is a true movie star and he only started off by just doing movies and producing his own movies and putting money into his own movies. So hearing that, I guess I better start doing my own stuff and producing my own stuff too, because that's the route you should take, or that's the route I heard people take. So that's the route I'm choosing to take. It might be a little different than Preity's. It might be a little different than someone else's. It might be a little different than yours. And I'm just choosing the route that sounds great for me.
Okay, now acting schools. You've been to one on
I've
scholarship?
been to so many.
And you? What would you say is the or is there any technique, or do you just come straight off of your soul and just do your role?
Acting schools are great. I got my training in Australia, which is famous for their training there. Far better, far superior, I think, than the training that you get over here, to be quite honest, at least in LA. I think New York has some better schools. Here, everything is geared towards camera, on screen. So you might want to think about getting into specifically an on-screen, on-camera class rather than just a scene study class, because at the end of the day, for commercials and all that, that's a specific kind of acting. You do have to know how you look on camera for commercials, how you deliver the line. It's not scene study, so that's helpful. And for TV, of course, the TV industry is huge, and it's as lucrative now as movies. And now, forget about movie stars, people just want to be TV stars, and for that you need to know how to act to that. So I've done some on-camera training, and that's always been very helpful. Casting director workshops, I've done those, they've been helpful. For me personally, go to film festivals, because I've done that around the world. And if you can get a chance, go to some of them, network with other producers, writers, directors. It helps a lot, because they will, you just meet the right people who are in the business working on that level, rather than just other aspiring actors, Like, networking is good, but the quality has to be there, or else it's just a waste of time. Yeah.
I totally agree, because you can network with actors that don't have Screen Actors Guild cards, and you can network with actors that don't go to acting classes, and you can network with actors that all they do is talk about acting but do not practice acting.
That's right.
Those aren't the people that you should be hanging out with.
No, because you're already further up, and you need to find somebody who's actually done what you want to do, rather than somebody that you might have to take along with you. So yeah,
it kind of reminds me of what the guys used to say when I was growing up. Game knows game.
Yeah.
For instance, you're not going to go and jump into a pickup game with people who can't play ball.
No.
Unless you just want to destroy everybody just for your, you're not going to get pressed or learn anything or pick up any new skills.
Yeah. Networking is a funny word that's used around very loosely in LA. Everyone's, networking, or I'm going to some networking event. You have to be so careful. I would say that 90% of the so-called networking events are, it's just fluff, you know, and the real people are not going to these events. You know, you might accidentally meet them at some classy fundraiser or some gala somewhere, but they're not, you know, it doesn't work like that. So you have to be very careful with how you spend your time and energy.
You have to make sure you're not a strange person in a strange bedfellow situation.
Yeah.
So
Look people up and see what they've done. And, you know, whenever I meet people, I always look them up and I'm like, oh, okay, they said they were blah, blah, blah. But, you know, there's nothing. It's one credit. I'm like, okay, now I know where they're at and I can, I'm going to take that road over there, you know, yeah.
What about producers, directors? What would you say to, you know, people who are getting all anxious, you know, because people are sitting there watching you and they're like, okay, well, I want to do that. I like the fact that they know the journey, they know what they got to do, they're taking the bull by the horns.
Yeah.
What kind of directors should I look for? Who should I avoid? How can I tell the difference between a snake and a upcoming professional?
Well, I can help you with that. I work with someone that we get along. We have the same kind of vision. Miosha Bean is just someone that I connect with. That's why I work with her. That's why we produce and direct and shoot together. I can't explain it. It's just one of those things where we just click. So that's why I work with her. That's why I will continue shooting with her.
Yes.
That's why she is my cinematographer for my movies. I can't really explain it, but when you have that connection or you have that rapport with someone, you just have to go with it.
It's made, it's done. Like stick with it because it's rare.
I lucked out.
It's rare to find. I think even the relationships are the same thing. You know, we think, oh yeah, there's like plenty of fish and there's billions of people, but it's not easy to find that chemistry or genuine connection. And when you do find it, don't let go. Hang on to it. Yeah, it's worth it. Yeah.
Cool. So,
and make sure they know what they're doing.
Yes.
Like my director storyboards. She knows what she's doing. That helps me out a lot. There's tons of cinematographers out here that don't storyboard.
now tell people what you mean by storyboard.
Storyboard is you basically create the story through illustrations. So what she does is she storyboards every scene. So if there's 10 scenes in a movie, she will illustrate every scene and put it in a storyboard or put it on a board with pictures of every scene. So that helps me because if I had an idea of how I wanted to shoot, she storyboarded it for me. Thank you, Miosha. That's what I was looking for. So that's what's great about having someone that's on the same plane as you, because she creates a storyboard that came out of my head and I didn't even tell her anything.
That's sweet.
So, and it makes my job a lot easier because I don't really have to do so much explanation to the actors. They can just look at the storyboard and say, oh, okay, that's where I'm going to sit. Oh, okay, that's where I'm looking. Let's go.
Now, I've done some acting, but not on the level as you two. But I wouldn't say I'm a horror fiend, but I tend to like shows that are twist user-friendly. There's always some twists. In fact, I'd say 80% of the time I can tell how it's going to turn out, who's going to be the one who's backstabbing, who's smiling in your face, really it's just killing you, and oh yeah. And meanwhile, you find out towards the end, it was this fool all along. What type of movies do you like? Because I like, someone being chased, someone getting hurt, revenge, wants to get back on their feet. I like, and sometimes the Hallmark, Hall of Fame, stuff where it's family.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, I like a nice chase scene. Yeah. Someone's like running for their life. They're getting away with the skin of their teeth. It's just like even if it's slow, it's building up. And like the script is cool, and the person has heart. Something like the original True Grit. You ever seen that with John Wayne? Stuff like that, or just really gut stuff.
Yeah.
Is that what you're into? And in fact, I'd love to see you in like a nice chase scene.
Yeah, I would love to.
I have the perfect script
I need
for
to.
you.
So there's two types of movies I like. One is I love my favorite movie is The Godfather. So I love all those Italian mafia movies. And I do like explosions and violence and just something that's raw and dark and get in there. I love it. So all the classics, thrillers, suspense. I'm a thinker. I like to think. I like twists and turns and murder mysteries and like who done it, all that kind of stuff. I'm not crazy about rom-com and girly chick flick. Sorry, I think like a guy. I like, like what my brother would like. I like movies because I used to watch it with him. Maybe that's why I got like this. But the second category I like is philosophical movies, spiritual movies, deep movies, esoteric movies. There's not too many of them around, but when they do come around, it's a trip to watch, Darren Aronofsky is very good. He's had a few of those movies like that are so mystical and yogic. The symbolism is amazing. And I don't know, I get lost in them. I like them. Yeah.
You can always tell. But now, what I know is sometimes I think I can always tell that a movie's going to be good in the first 5 or 10 minutes. Every now and then I screw up and I flip back to it's like, man, this would have been a good movie if I had watched it from the beginning. Because sometimes they kind of play with you just to throw you off, just to see, okay, let's see if you're really a movie watcher and you're going to stick around. What about you?
I'm a big action adventure. I love special effects.
Yeah.
So I guess, my genres would be action and the next one, horror. Like I like a good horror story with good special effects, something that can scare me or something that can make me go, oh, because I know it's fake. So then if they did it and made me believe, then I know it's some really good work. So I really love horror. Love horror films.
So now, I saw one of the films that you made, which I was thinking kind of remind me of something that I would imagine Rod Serling would do. I forgot the name of it.
With the Hard Requittals one?
The one where the guy had a revenge for the caretaker of the school.
Hard Requittal, yeah. Yeah, that was more of I guess it was a horror thriller, more of a thriller story. But yeah, I think the horror in that writing was more of...
Hitchcock?
Yeah, it would be horrific sitting there knowing that some guy is getting ready to murder you and you can't move and do anything about it. I think that's what the horror was in that, was the guy was basically paralyzed while this guy's sitting there having this conversation with him.
Methodically breaking it down.
Yeah, so
you're going to start feeling stage 3 of this, and then you're going to start losing all voluntary, by the way, this and that about your wife. I did it, I know, it's like, it's cold-blooded,
Oh, God.
Yeah, so it was more psychological than anything, Yeah. So that...
Love it.
I just enjoy doing that. So for as far as that being a specific genre for me, yeah, I would like to be in more, say, psychological thrillers for myself.
Could you see yourself doing like a Easter special, or a Christmas special, where the families come together? It's just mainly like a family deal where prodigal son type of thing. Yep. Comes back after 30, 40 years of just being a rolling stone, finally comes back home, and it gets all mushy, and it's, Christmas time, the trees, all that type of thing.
I'd hope so, because right now I'm just playing bad guys. Well, I guess that's the, what's that called? My niche, my...
Look at De Niro. He was always kind of like the bad guy. Yeah. Now he's like...
The cute grandfather or the father. Funny guy. Yeah.
The Fockers.
He's very good at that, though.
Yeah, he is.
Good with comedy,
Who do you want to affect? Is there a particular focal point of your work that you send it out and just try to hit that needle in the haystack of humanity? It's like, this is who I'm talking to. Who's the main, I know you want to hit as many people as possible, but who's the main vein that you inject your work into, you seek?
For me, Hollywood has always been a platform to do my life's real work, So for me, I think my life purpose is to inspire and empower people through my work and my presence. So it's very specific. It's just, it's a great platform for that, to be on the global stage and do that. I've always thought the ideal person that would, watch my stuff or listen to me and would be touched by it is anyone who's a sincere seeker this is more spiritual, I think, than just looking for entertainment. Someone who's asking deep questions of their existence and why they're here, what is their purpose, all that existential stuff, and they're genuinely seeking for it. If they find me, they will find some nuggets of truth there, and they will be inspired to take the next step. That's like really on the deeper level. But I think the young people, they need to find their spiritual path, you know, so it's always nice for young people to tap in and to be fans and supporters. I think that's always very interesting.
Cool. What about you, Rick?
Well, see, I wish I was on her path. For me, it's more, man, because I'm still trying to find my own spirituality and harness it and own it. I'm just out there to entertain right now, man. Like,
Let me put it
really.
like this. You're literally a person who still plays ball. So everyone has their own shot, whether it's that that 3-point, that bank shot. When you come down to do your film, are you looking to find people who want to see you finger roll it off the backboard, follow wave, 10-footer, people in your face and at the buzzer?
I'm all about the slam dunks in your face, baby.
I love it.
Just straight up boom.
Yeah, just give it to you raw and emotional and take it as it is. And if you enjoy it, fine. If you don't, go ahead and hate me too, because that's the idea.
I feel you. So now let's get down to nitty gritty because we're almost out of time. Give me some of your next work projects, upcoming films.
Yeah, so please tune in to the Eternal Hour on iTunes as well as UBN Radio, writing my first book, The Eternal Gift, and producing my travel show. It's a TV show. There you go.
And then they might catch you on Heineken commercials,
Yeah,
National
I've
Geographic.
been in all the Heineken commercials for the Super Bowl, the Dos Equis.
That's why I get thirsty every time I see you.
Fox promo. I am going to be on the new Luminous Beauty infomercial. That was a national campaign that we did. I did a national campaign for Lancome as well, amongst other commercials. Yeah, you can definitely catch me on HP. Did an international campaign for Hewlett Packard as well.
Boom.
Yeah.
You're all over, baby.
Yeah.
You are the nuclear popcorn.
Oh
spokesperson.
yeah, baby, bring it on.
How about Ricky?
Let me see. I'll just go ahead and plug my
You just
website.
told us about the upcoming deal that you're doing.
If you go to www.richyjacobs.com, you'll see all my acting stuff on there. Recently, I just finished, like you said, Hard Requittals. Just finished It Was an Accident. I'm also playing a drug dealer in a movie called Savasana coming up this year. I'm also a mobster in a movie called The Matadors with Eric Roberts. That's going to be a big one for me because it's going to be in November, a bunch of major players. That's going to be probably my one film with a lot of lines with major players that people go, oh, that's Richard Jacobs.
This might
So
be
that's
your ship.
it might be the break.
Well,
Might
you know
be.
what? I just hope that you keep blowing up, and when you do get that Emmy, make sure you come back here and be on Nuclear Popcorn
For
with
sure.
the Emmy, and I'll even spit shine it.
For sure, man.
All right.